Healthy intestines make healthy muscles and bones, as well as filter impurities out of the body. However, intestines nowadays are at serious health risk. How do we go about protecting our intestinal health? In Health Report, we will take a look at causes and serious effects of intestinal diseases and expand our knowledge of these vital organs. In Best Exercise Methods, we will take you out horseback riding, a method helpful for intestinal movements. In Healthy Food, we will discuss how to keep our intestines healthy with lactic acid bacteria, LAB. From ancient times, the 3 R's, refreshing sleep, refreshing eating, and refreshing bowel movement, have been considered the most essential of the essential ways to keep yourself healthy. But because of instant food and overconsumption of meat, our intestines are sending out a warning sign. Following stomach cancer, lung cancer, and liver cancer, cancer of the large intestine ranks 4th among common cancers. 4 out of 10 adults are suffering from large intestine diseases. Are your intestines healthy? From the appendix to the anus, the large intestine is about 150 centimeters, about the height of an elementary school child. Its radius decreases as it spirals down. The large intestine mixes its contents well through peristalsis and segmentation. It plays a role not only in breaking food particles down and carrying them all the way down through the body, but also in solidifying and relieving leftovers from the body. This is the way troubles form in the vital intestines. Westernized diet with high-fat meals and increased consumption of meat is hindering the functions of your large intestine. Recently, there has been an increase in the number of patients suffering from large intestine diseases, such as irritable colon syndrome or constipation.
안 좋다고 고치려고 노력은 하는데 그 음식 욕심이 좀 있어가지고 많이 먹는 것도 많이 먹고 있습니다.
In the result of a large intestine endoscopy, a polyp was found growing abnormally on the intestinal mucous membrane. A polyp is a type of tumor that is easily overlooked because it lacks particular symptoms. If you fail to treat it, it could develop into large intestine cancer. Statistical results from a 6-year study of large intestine endoscopies conducted on approximately 27,000 patients at a hospital in Seoul show that there has recently been a sudden increase of large intestine diseases in the group of people in their 30s compared to those in their 40s or 50s.
변비라든지 아니면 잦은 설사 아니면 음식을 먹은 다음에 복통을 초래한다든지 아니면 변이 가늘다든지 변을 봐도 시원하지 않다든지 그런 증상들을 호소하는 분들이 많습니다. 근데 대부분은 그 스트레스라든지 음식 때문에 올 수 있는 과민성 대장 증후군의 증상일 경우가 많거든요. 근데 그런 과민성 대장 증후군의 증상과 대장암의 증상이 많이 다르지 않기 때문에 그 증상만 가지고는 과민성 대장 증후군인지 대장암인지 알 수가 없거든요. 그래서 그것을 구분하기 위해서 대장 내시경 검사가 필요한 경우가 많습니다.
A large intestine endoscopy, just like a stomach endoscopy, doesn't have to be conducted too often. But if you're in your 40s or up, it's recommended that you test for one every 4 years. If you have a family history of large intestine disease, you should get tested regardless of your age due to the possibility of an occurrence. After taking a tomography of the abdomen, we can not only check the size of the cancer or polyp, but also see if there has been a transfer of the disease. This is accomplished through computer images of what is lying inside the large intestine.
지금 변은 어떻게 잘 보세요?
Now, you may be wondering how healthy your intestines are.
똑같이 하시는 거죠?
Let's find out through an easy self-test. You may not feel completely relieved after a bowel movement, or may go more frequently but with difficulty. Your bowel movement may be accompanied with viscous fluid or blood. Your life may be affected by either diarrhea or constipation, or abdominal pains, and indigestion may depress or upset you. You may be having trouble keeping an average weight. You may have someone in your family who is a patient suffering from a large intestinal disease. Any of these symptoms call for an immediate large intestine endoscopy. Now, let's stop for a moment to see what kind of myths people have about the large intestine.
물을 많이 마시면 장에 좋다는데 정말인가요?
장에 제일 건강하다고 쉽게 알 수 있는 것은 섬유소, 채소에 많은 섬유소들을 얘기하는데 그 섬유소가 장에 적절하게 작용하기 위해서는 물에 의해서 충분히 불려져야 하고 그 불려진 섬유소가 장의 운동을 자극하게 되면 장이 원활하게 운동을 하게 됩니다. 또한 그런 자극으로 인해서 장 점막의 혈류가 좋아지고 그 혈류가 좋아지면 장이 건강하게 유지될 수 있겠죠. 만약 이런 물과 섬유소의 부족으로 인해서 장 점막에 이끼 같은 것이 낄 수가 있습니다. 그렇게 되면 몸 안에 있는 독소를 원활하게 배출할 수 없으며 또한 장 운동도 점점 안 좋아질 수 있습니다.
Just how much water should an adult drink daily? The recommended amount is at least 2.5 liters. We intake about 0.5 liters in forms of food like rice or soup, so we can make up the additional 2 liters with water, drinks, or tea daily.
설사나 변비를 해결하기 위해서 많은 사람들이 약을 먹고 있는데 그게 정말 올바른 방법인가요?
변비약을 장기간 상습적으로 복용하시는 분들이 있는데 이것은 아주 좋지 않습니다. 변비약은 일시적인 효과는 볼 수 있지만 점점 장의 운동의 조절 기능을 떨어뜨리기 때문에 더욱더 악화시키는 악순환의 고리를 가져올 수 있고 그래서 변비약을 단기간 짧게 복용하는 건 괜찮지만 장기간 복용하는 건 아주 삼가해야 될 일입니다. 두 번째, 지사제를 설사 시에 복용하는 경우는 설사는 우리 몸에 어떤 문제 생겨서 균을 내보내고 균과 독소를 내보내기 위한 방어 기전이기 때문에 짧게 2, 3일 있는 설사라든지 이럴 때는 지사제라든지 걸 먹지 않는 것이 오히려 좋습니다. 장기간 지속될 때만 전문의의 처방을 받아서 복용하도록 해야 하겠습니다.
For a diet or to get rid of coprosthesis, people often try a colonic irrigation. But colonic irrigation interrupts the natural physiological rhythm of the bowels and negatively affects the way your intestines move, often causing constipation. Now, we need to know what kinds of life habits are healthy for our large intestine. In what ways can we make an easy start?
아침에 일어났을 때 물 한 잔을 드시고 식사하시기 전에 물 한 잔을 드시고 식간에 드시는 것은 오히려 위산을 희석시켜서 소화를 방해하는 그런 작용을 할 수 있습니다. 그러니까 공복에 물을 마시는 것이 가장 좋습니다. 그 외에도 우리가 장이 가만히 앉아있을 때도 물론 장 스스로 운동을 해서 소화를 시키고 배변을 원활하게 합니다. 그렇지만 장 혼자서 하기에는 벅찬 일입니다. 그래서 몸을 많이 움직여줌으로써 장 운동을 도와줄 수 있습니다. 그래서 식후 40분 후에 한 30분 정도 걷는 운동을 하는 것이 장 운동을 증가시켜주고 장을 건강하게 유지시켜줄 수 있는 방법입니다.
We're out here in this open field to match the rhythm of horses. Rhythm of horses? What's that you say? Well, it's a rhythm that our intestines experience when we ride a horse. So let's go have fun horseback riding. But most importantly, help give our intestines the exercise that they need.
Let's relieve our daily stress by taking a speedy ride on a horse. Once you leave your body to the rhythmical movement of the horse, you will find that your intestines will become stronger. Exercise for healthier intestines. The advancement of civilization has always offered convenience for people. However, this has also resulted in a serious lack of exercise for the people of today. And in addition to such harmful elements like alcohol and smoking, it threatens the health of the intestines. The intestines are drastically losing their functions. Actually, the number of people with intestinal disorders is increasing. Overeating of meats and instant foods is the cause of the increase of the number of intestinal disorders. Food and exercise are the major influences of intestinal problems. Daily exercise plays an important role in improving the conditions of the intestines. The best sport for the intestines is horseback riding. It is effective in exercising the intestines.
예, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
예, 지금 뭐 하고 계세요?
지금 말 타기 전에 솔질을 해주고 있어요.
예, 특별한 이유는 있나요?
말 타기 전에 솔질을 해줌으로써 말과 친해질 수 있고요.
예.
그리고 마방에 있을 때 털 사이에 끼인 이물질을 제거해 줄 수 있으니까 솔질을 해주는 겁니다.
헬멧은 이렇게 흔들리면 안 되고
네.
지금보다 좀 더 조이셔야 되고요.
네.
예. 부츠는 자기 사이즈에서 딱 맞나 손이 들어가나 안 들어가나 확인을 해주시고요.
You must wear knee-length boots to prevent leg injury. You may damage your hands when holding onto the bridle, so in order to prevent hand damage and slipping, you must wear gloves. Also, you must wear a perfectly fitting helmet to prevent head injury in case of a fall.
이게 굽기라는 거예요. 네.
네.
올라가시기 전에 이걸 짧게 잡으시고 왼쪽 손으로 갈기를 이렇게 꽉 잡으세요.
For beginners, getting on the horse is not an easy task. You must step onto the stirrups and get on the horse as you swing over its body.
잡으셔서 새끼손가락을 빼시고 엄지손가락으로 이렇게 눌러주시면 돼요.
오케이.
반대쪽도 한번 잡아보세요.
Distance both your arms at 10 centimeters and raise the bridle when you're on the horse's back. You must place your feet towards the front to centralize your body. When you place your feet towards the back, the horse may speed up, which is dangerous for the beginner. In order to stop the horse, you just pull the bridle. However, you must not pull the bridle by only moving your arms. You must in fact pull your shoulders back and pull the bridle all the way back. When you kick the stomach of the horse with appropriate strength, it will begin to move. Beginners should start with a slow trot. The most important thing at this time is to maintain balance on the horse. You must leave your body up to the rhythmical movement of the horse. Once you can maintain a certain amount of balance, you can increase the speed. Each of the 4 of the horse's legs hit the ground, so the sense of the horse's rhythmical movement can be felt by the rider. This movement stimulates the intestines the most. How does horseback riding affect the intestines? As you horseback ride, the body moves up and down. This stimulates the intestines and can strengthen the intestines better than peristaltic movement.
말 위에서 일체감을 느끼기 위해서는 리듬감, 즉 반복적이고 지속적인 리듬이 필요한 것들이죠. 이 리듬을 줄 때 가장 핵심이 되는 게 바로 이제 바른 자세에서는 골반을 중심으로 한 장을 계속적으로 자극을 주게 됩니다. 따라서 장의 이제 활성화를 통하게 되면 소화 기능도 또 높여지게 되고요. 또 지속적으로 계속해서 자극을 줄 경우에는 이제 혈중 지질 농도, 즉 이제 우리 몸에 불필요한 지질 농도를 떨어뜨려주는, 또 그리고 배변의 만족도를 높여주는 연구 결과도 있습니다.
Once you are accustomed to riding the horse, you can try to increase the speed. This, of course, exercises the intestines and increases muscular endurance. You can also relieve daily stress when you ride the horse at a gallop in the mountains or on the beaches.
저희 집안은 이 장이 안 좋은 집안인데 승마를 함으로써 장운동을 활발하게 해줘가지고 일단은 음식을 먹으면 소화가 잘 안 됐는데 소화를 잘 시키게 되고 소화가 잘 돼요. 그리고 뭐 하체나 뭐 전반적으로 몸의 율동이나 뭐 이런 것도 밸런스 잡기도 좋고 전체적으로 좋은 것 같아요.
People today claim that they don't have time to exercise. That's not enough of a reason to neglect the health of your intestines. Let's learn some simple intestinal exercises that you can do at home. First, the lateral press. This stimulates the right side of your stomach where the large intestines begin, which helps large intestine activity. This also loosens the left side where the large intestines end, which eventually allows bowel movement activity. Next is the drumming of the stomach. Close up your hands as if you are holding onto an egg. Doing this relays waves to the insides of the abdominal cavity. This movement can loosen the intestines that may have become rigid. It is most effective to do intestinal exercises before sleeping or soon after you awake. When you do exercises that strengthen the diaphragm, the intestines that have drooped throughout the day can be pulled back in place. It is also important to inhale and exhale with your diaphragm. Now, an exercise of shaking your buttocks. Laying down, you raise the pelvis up to about 5 to 10 centimeters. You shake your body from the left to the right from this position. This prevents drooping of the intestines, and also, this loosens the defecation accumulated in the intestines and activates bowel movement.
장체조는 기상 직후 또 지침 직전 이렇게 침상에서 하는 게 아주 효과적이라고 제가 생각합니다. 근데 왜 그러냐면은 우리가 항상 직립해서 이렇게 다니잖아요. 그 모든 장기가 다 밑으로 이렇게 쳐져 있는 상태인데 이제 누워 있을 때는 평평하게 누워 있을 때 제일 좋죠. 장체조를 함으로 해서 제일 먼저 자율신경을 바로 잡아주기 때문에 인체의 우리 밸런스를 잡아주고요. 그 다음번에 장의 연동 운동을 활발하게 해줌으로 해서 에너지 대사가 활발해지면서 복부 비만이 사라지고 혈액순환이 잘 되고 림프순환이 잘 됨으로 해서 우리 몸이 건강해지고 또한 노화 방지까지 됩니다.
The truth is, nowadays, many of us, because of our busy schedules, live sedentary and inactive lifestyles. So it's almost inevitable that we'll run into intestinal complications. And you know what they say, you should exercise as much as you eat. So let's improve our intestinal health with some of the exercises we've showed you today, and you be sure to upgrade the quality of your life.
Good eating habits are considered essential for longevity. However, the food today's moderners favor tends to harm intestines and eventually jeopardizes the length of our lives. Intestinal health is indispensable for disease-free longevity. So now let's take a close look at our daily diet for clues. Natural digestion kimchi. Trillions of microorganisms live in human intestines. Among these, LAB, lactic acid bacteria, keep intestines clean by preventing unusual fermentations caused by various bacteria. Fermented dairy products are one of many typical LAB foods.
유산균은 장에 들어가면서 활발히 증식할 경우에 장의 연동 운동을 증가시켜서 변비를 예방해 줄 수가 있습니다. 또 한 가지 장 정상작용으로서 해로운 균이 들어갔을 경우에 해로운 균과 서로 경쟁을 함으로써 해로운 균이 못 자라게 해주는 역할을 합니다. 또 한 가지 혈중 콜레스테롤을 저하시키는 역할을 하는데 장에서 콜레스테롤을 흡착시켜서 같이 배출해 주는 역할도 합니다.
One food that has just as much LAB as fermented dairy products is a traditional Korean food, kimchi. Kimchi is made with a mixture of vegetables and seasoning, in which healthy LAB are produced in the course of maturing. Vegetables rich in dietary fibers help intestinal peristalsis, and seasoning ingredients such as garlic, ginger, and chili powder help digestion by stimulating the stomach. The process of making kimchi is important itself, but what's more important is the maturation process. During this maturing process, kimchi becomes a natural digestant as LAB are produced, whose nutritional value reaches the peak in 50 days. These nutritions found in kimchi are effective in various ways. Kimchi ingredients like cabbage prevent large intestinal cancer, and garlic and other ingredients in the seasoning have been proven to suppress stomach cancer. As kimchi starts to ferment, it facilitates antioxidative activity and metabolism. There are many different kinds of nutrients in matured kimchi. 100 grams of cabbage kimchi is filled with fiber, protein, calcium, vitamins, and other nutrients. Also, there are 30-some kinds of LAB that kimchi produces in fermentation. There are about 106 to 108 LAB per milliliter in yogurt, and about 108 to 109 per milliliter in matured kimchi. These LAB allow kimchi to come alive and even prove their effect in suppressing harmful bacteria in intestines through a research report. They are believed to be more effective than yogurt to kill harmful bacteria and prevent large intestinal diseases. Looking at the anti-cancer effects of kimchi LAB, the mouse injected with kimchi LAB had a slower progress of cancer and a higher survival rate. Kimchi LAB are especially effective for large intestine cancer. Kimchi, initially made in order to preserve vegetables, now comes in a variety. Kimchi made with different kinds of vegetables produce organic acid as time passes by, adding more flavor. Also, the carbon dioxide produced during the maturing process makes kimchi all the more refreshing. Kimchi is a dish by itself, but also can be an ingredient for other dishes. There are a variety of dishes made with kimchi in Korea. But why do Koreans indulge in kimchi so much?
맛이 느끼하지 않고 깔끔하고 맛있어서 자주 찾는 편이에요.
Please join us now as we enter the world of food with kimchi as its key ingredient. Kimchi pot stew is by far the most popular kimchi dish. Kimchi and pork with vegetables and broth harmonize into a spicy pot full of enjoyment. Kimchi pot stew of a Korean restaurant in New York was once selected as the #1 soup for winter in the entire city, proving its excellent taste. There are countless kimchi dishes out there, and people continue to develop many more with kimchi as the nutritious ingredient.
숙성된 김치에는 다양한 유기산이 존재하고 있습니다. 초산, 젖산, 사이트릭 엑스트 같은 경우가 있어서 아주 감칠맛 있는 맛을 주고, 적당히 숙성된 김치에는 풍부한 아미노산이 있고 유산균이 증식됨으로써 유산균이 대사 과정에서 나오는 이산화탄소가 많이 생성됩니다. 이 이산화탄소는 상큼한 시원한 맛을 주게 되겠습니다.
It is important to intake food rich in fiber for your intestinal health. Fresh vegetables or fruits and less refined grains especially contain a lot of dietary fiber. In between the structures of dietary fiber, there are many holes to contain the water which will be released in large intestines to facilitate the intestinal movement. Adults need to intake 25 to 30 grams of dietary fiber in order to maintain active intestinal functions. Proper eating habits for a healthy large intestine. Regular eating habits. Drink a cold glass of water or milk before meals. Drink 1.5 to 2 liters of water every day. Intake enough dietary fiber. The best way to keep yourself healthy is to eat well, sleep well, and relieve yourself well. Intestines are in charge of two of the above, eating and relieving yourself well. If you pay attention to what you eat and exercise in moderation, you should be able to keep your intestinal health, the very essential condition for longevity. It is not too much to say that the dream of disease-free longevity will start to come true with healthy intestines.